Okay, so I'm Mackenzie. Nice to meet you.
Nice
Um,
to meet you.
I'm a junior
Okay,
on the women's lacrosse team. Um, I'm a midfielder defender.
okay, great.
So yeah, I had some questions to ask you.
Awesome.
All
Fire away.
right. Why did you choose Goucher?
Uh, Honestly, Mackenzie, I came to play field hockey and lacrosse.
Hmm.
Back in the day, and I'm totally dating myself, I got a recruiting letter in the mail from the coach here at the time.
Yeah.
And it was one of these fill out the form, send it back in the business reply envelope thing. So I took it to my high school field hockey lacrosse coach at the time. And I said, Mary Goucher, what is this? And she said, oh my goodness. She said, that's where I went to college.
That's
So
cool.
my high school coach is an alum from the college back in the day when it was all women's college.
Yeah.
So she not so subtly nudged me this way. And I came down, I will never forget, in December. It was cold and rainy, and I met with the coach at the time, Ange Bradley. And I was like, okay, that's it. But I didn't think I'd be able to afford it because I'm the youngest of three. And I came home and my financial aid package came, and my parents, bless them, were able to work it out. So that's how I ended up here. I call it my 6 degrees of Goucher moment because it all started with my high school coach.
Very cool. What do you think was the key in that rebuilding process?
We had Courtney Frangie, who was the most amazing player I've ever seen in my life. My first year, she missed the season because she tore her ACL. And then when she came back, it was a total game changer from there. She was amazing. She was amazing to watch. And it was my job in practice and scrimmage to defend her.
Uh-huh.
Couldn't be done. It was ridiculous. So that was, just building on that, and the fact that there was really not a whole lot of pressure to start because we knew we're like, okay, let's just see what happens, and it just kept building from there.
Very cool. In 1995, the team wins the CAC, but there's no postseason tournament.
Yeah.
How did that season's experience help you with the Final Four run?
I think we realized we could actually do it, and we just won the league, and it was the Capital Athletic Conference, which included what's now known as University of Mary Washington and Salisbury, and we beat them. And so it was like, okay, maybe we kind of got a shot here.
What were your favorite memories from the NCAA tournament against Roanoke and Middlebury?
Oh my goodness. Roanoke, it was at home. So we got to play a home game. Mm-hmm. It's hard to imagine, but when we played, there was no stadium and there was no turf field. So we used to play men's and women's games side by side. Okay. Sometimes, which was crazy. But we were on the back field, and it was so many people there, so many from the community, just so many people there. And then I also remember, I think Courtney Frangie sent some sort of record that day because she was completely on fire. And I just sat back on the defensive end because I played defense, and I was like, okay, there goes Court. But we were really nervous because this was our, what's going on. And we did really well. And we won by a lot that day. Going to the Final Four, we were the first team to go to the Final Four. It was amazing, but it was also graduation. So our seniors stayed for graduation. Somebody brought them up. I think we were at Lehigh. And I just remember them running onto the practice field, and we were all like, oh my goodness, you graduated, you're here. So that was fun. Now, the Middlebury game did not turn out as much as we had hoped, but it was still that experience to know that we were there, and it was kind of a good send-off.
25 years later, what do you think the legacy of the 1996 women's lacrosse team is?
Somebody, and I mean this in the best terms, somebody once called us the bad news bearers, because where we started out from barely having enough players to not knowing what we were doing, to progressing into the Final Four was amazing. And I think that's what our legacy is. Mm-hmm. And I attribute a lot of that to Ange because she turned the field hockey program around as well. It was start from the beginning, kind of rebuild and just take it step by step. And again, many of us were not talented players, and she made us into players that believed in ourselves.
Your team will be inducted into the Hall of Fame as the inaugural team of distinction. What does it mean to you to have this honor and that you'll be inducted with your teammates as a team into the Hall of Fame?
It gave me chills. It's given me chills the first time I found out. I would much rather go in with a team and as part of an individual, because everyone had such an important role in that program and in that success. And to know that we were the first team to go to the Final Four and now the first team to be going into the Hall of Fame is pretty awesome. So I am looking forward to getting as many people back for the ceremony as we can. And just to see everybody, even before the pandemic, it's been a while since we saw everybody. So I think it'll just be a great mini reunion, and I'm looking forward to it. And I really appreciate the opportunity as a team, because that's how I'd want it. And honestly, some of my teammates are already in there because they're so awesome anyway. It just makes sense that we go in as a team. So really looking forward to it.